to underscore the need for a reformed political culture that will prioritize accountability, inclusivity, transparency, and policy making. And by addressing these structural issues, can we begin to create a new generation of the students we're producing here who will have a better understanding of what is going on. And in my proposal, with the syllabus that I will read shortly, they will learn theories and practice. And they will do original research with difficult questions and clearly defined objectives. Studying politics and policies. And in a well-structured syllabus, they will understand the following. First, theoretical framework. We have to expose them to foundational theories on power and how they relate to politics and policies. And the students must have a deep understanding of power and political theory. Second, they must understand decolonial thought and African political philosophy, infusing African-derived knowledge system, exploring the role of African philosophies in politics and policies, advocating for an approach that is rooted in our local knowledge systems. Number three, African regional institutions and policy. The role of the African Union and other regional organizations in mediation and conflict resolutions. Four, political influence on policy. The exploration of theories of political influence, lobbying, the role of interest groups in shaping policies. Five, policy implementation and power. They have to be trained in how policies may reinforce or challenge existing power structures. Six, the interplay between power, politics, and policies, understanding case studies or historical examples to illustrate the interaction of power and politics in policy making. Seven, the influence of power on policy creation. They have to be able to show how those in power often direct policy to sustain their influence. And they can take various examples: tax laws, education policies. Eight, political actors and policy outcomes, analyzing how different political actors affect policy outcomes based on their positions of power. 9, policy as a tool for power distribution, progressive policies, examples of policies that aim to redistribute power, policy as a means of control, introducing them to how policy is used to reinforce the power of certain groups. 10, the historical context of power and politics in Nigeria, analysis of colonial and post-colonial influences, the economic and administrative policies that shape political structures, the military era, transition to democracy with a detailed examination of critical regime. 11, political structure and power dynamics, the analysis of federalism with a detailed analysis of how it functions in Nigeria compared to other federal systems. They must understand the role of ethnicity and religion and be able to analyze ethnic and religious tensions with historical examples. 12, political parties and patronage. The classes will explore each party's ideology, structure, regional dominance, and election strategies. They must understand and critique patronage and clientelism and be able to provide detailed discussions of how power influences politics with case studies. 13, policy challenges and economic reforms. That many Nigerian citizens don't understand issues around economic instability and public finance reforms. A new generation of students from BSU will be conversant with financial instability, including global market impacts, and they will be able to do futuristic analysis. 14, governance and public policy implementation. Challenges to effective governance, dealing with issues of corruption, institutional weaknesses, and our students will develop ideas on inclusive policy formulation, like those targeting women's participation in politics, youth empowerment, and regional equity. 15, the role of civil society and the media. 16, contemporary issues with example. 17, power and global policies. They finished the semester now. I call it politics and policies. And it can be done in two ways. Infusing it in what you have now as part of the Department of Political Science, and ultimately you upgrade it to a degree status. It's possible. I can develop a four-year program as a degree status. And they will learn about technologies and statistics and economics and data analysis. Training for this degree will include understanding a wide range of theoretical frameworks, including such older ones as dependency theory, post-colonialism, clientelism, theories of federalism. Original research will provide detailed case studies on so many aspects like anti-corruption agencies, specific policy reforms. They must have a grounding in statistics to create a template to plan with data and graphs to illustrate economic indicators, trends in infrastructure spending, and understanding of government policies, including data visualizations and a robust reflections on financial landscape. That will be my first recommendation, sir. The second is to create diplomas for civil servants and conversations with the state governor and all the principal actors requesting that civil servants require continuous education. Ideas can be formulated mandatory before promotion for civil servants to take the diploma and to spread the idea beyond the state that they need regular education on power, politics, and politics. That something is sorely missing is in the domain of power relations that have fueled insurgencies, terrorism, and the assumption is that workers understand this. Politics is an act of power through formal and informal forms of government and institutions. Political decisions can result, and these relationships can determine who gets to exert the authority, the capacity, and influence. Structural power is a political agency. Political decisions are defined in formal political structures, constitutions, parliaments, branches, and it is organized into the understanding of who is in charge and who can influence decisions through institutional regulations. Structural power relates to political decision making that we have to expose to all workers. And all workers in the civil service must understand the interpersonal and group dynamics in agencies. Under these formal arrangements, political and advisory power dynamics between politicians advisors, and other actors must take this into consideration. The power equation must understand each in every political system, and including civil service. And third recommendation, the dividends of democracy. Nigerians must benefit from the we committed to a session. And we have seen coups in the Sahel. And a large majority of our young men and women under the age of 30 have checked out of Africa. We cannot deceive ourselves. Those graduating tomorrow, or other countries like the US leave. We cannot have a country in which the majority of those who want to transform us want to leave the continent. To gain power is a skill. It's a skill. And it's also an art. It's easy to have power. Go and try it. It's a skill. It's also an art. And having power requires understanding politics as an art of deception and of manipulation. And to try. And I want to use myself as an example. I understand, but where is the politics to sell my ideas? And now to transform in the area of my skill, the understanding and creation of policies. They are very wise, but they don't have resources. Do you? If I say, that I'm a millionaire, bring an idea to our opinions and demand right. Third, economic growth and development. If you have democracy, the democracy must be healthy and high. And I want to put my message in a poetic ending. Each sentence, please, members of the audience, kindly repeat after me. Power is the driver of transformation. Politics shape power and policy, growth and change. Politics must manage power and society. Power and policies must deliver good governance. So help me God.
Omale o kao mase mama o gomaka mama o ase ta o ngomase yoropo ta o mase bana bebe adoma yoropo ta o mase wo.
The Jew that could ask people to do a certain thing, and about 2 million people will do the same thing and do it without complaint. I was coming to that. You all obeyed and clapped. You can complain afterwards. But now we are all being diplomatic, civil, polite, and we have the Vice Chancellor is offended and says, I do not anchor any event. That's policy change. Whether it will deliver growth or development will be determined at the end of all things. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Professor Toyin Falola, in a very resounding lecture, sir, we are our guest lecturer. I don't know what that is. Request the Vice Chancellor to, at this point, present the plaque of honor.
Sir, I don't want to go into the definitions and the explanations and all of it, because I don't know whether it was out of power. This is governance. A combination. we know for you to have traveled all the way to come, we can't pay. And you've given us an inspiring lecture. So, BENUE State University Merit Award presented to Professor Toyin Falola as guest lecturer, presented this day, 6th December 2024, during the 22nd to 24th combined convocation ceremonies. Congratulations, congratulations, and thank you.
We thank the Vice Chancellor and the guest lecturer for that wonderful display of a combination of power, politics, and policy. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now invite the Department of Theatre Arts to give us very quickly the Mamiwata cultural dance. And while that is going on, refreshments will also go round, after which we will take the next segment, which is awards. I would like to inform you that the performer of the Mamiwata dance here today is a 100-level student of the Department of Theatre Arts at BENUE State University. Watch and be thrilled. While we welcome them, there is a missing car key here, so please, if you do not find your car key on you, it's a Toyota car key, please signal to the ushers and they will come to me. Theatre Arts Department, please, you may proceed. Thank you.
Aha. Kwa wama beho shemaya ogele ma kwa wama beho shemaya awa yokela ya akoma gaye akwecha
Pongole makpe
na me walo na me walo akana me walo na me walo na me walo na me walo akana 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 me walo na me walo kwa wamabe oshimaya walo ma kwa wamabe oshimaya yawayo kuraya akomaga ye akola ya checha Komadudo kanu ya totawa sawalaga saye pomana komamudo unabana temana we ayo pe ayaluvo yala punyalo age ayaluvo yala punyalo age de oro fa se ma kwe o fa se ma kwe yala punyalo age de Abayola o sore konve Abayola o sore konve Baba o mani baba o ye sheba Baba o yopo baba o ye sheba Ayale kwaza o jatako o aye agayan agalevo lo puñale age año lo puñale age de o fa ka se ma ku we fala se ma ku yo po na we agede se tu ma jege na se uza se ko jege na se uza me o na be o ga na te ma be se ga yo ya se tu wa ka se uza ge o na be yo ga na te ma uza ge a very zande kwase wa me ya ba yo agezende kwase wa me ya ba ke ba ta ke Ayo go na no